It's chaos. It's a different type of Sunday scary. It's your newest obsession. It's Dirty Driving, a Formula One podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Dirty Driving. Last week was another bye week of the spring break. So, today we are focusing on a topic that I've hinted at a couple times now, the F1 Academy. And the reason why we have to talk about this week is because the F1 Academy will kick off their first season in Spielberg, Austria on April 28th and 29th, which is the same weekend F1 makes its post-spring break return in Baku. So you're already going to be watching Formula One that weekend. You might as well see if you can watch a couple minutes, maybe a whole session of Formula Academy. I'm not quite sure if it will be streaming on F1 TV. I've got to believe that it will be, considering F2 and F3 are, but I will keep you guys updated on if it is available or not. That being said, it's the perfect time to discuss what the F1 Academy even is and what their season is going to look like. In November of last year, Formula One announced an all-female driver category that would be dubbed the F1 Academy, with a goal to develop and prepare young female drivers to progress to higher levels of competition, including F3, F2, and F1. After F1 assessed the barriers that young women face when entering F1, it was clear that women do not have the same experience as their male counterparts at the same age. Absolutely shocking. I mean, who would have thought that women didn't have the same experience as their male counterparts, considering that the males are granted more opportunities? So I feel like I could have told F1 this without the research and the looking into these barriers, but I'm glad they are at least working on making changes. So the goal is to fill that gap and offer female drivers access to more track time, racing, testing, and just more time in the car getting comfortable with what a race weekend looks like, with what being on a team looks like, all the things. So the series aims to maximize the opportunity and the potential of young female drivers to reach the highest level in motorsports, and to provide young talent currently in go-karting or other junior categories access to a fundamental level of experience needed before entering the pyramid of F1, which is F3, F2, and then the funnel into F1. The series will have 5 teams run by current F2 and F3 teams. They will each be able to enter 3 cars, which will make up a 15-car grid. The racers will also grow by working with these professional teams who are renowned in motorsports for nurturing young drivers. These teams have been a part of F2 and F3 for years now, which will then develop them to having the crucial technical, physical, and mental skills that are needed to be behind the wheel of one of these cars. The first season, the 2023 season, will have 7 events where there will be 3 races at each, amounting to 21 total races, plus 15 days of official testing. Some already took place in Barcelona, and then they'll have testing throughout the season as well. Dates are to come for that. So I wasn't able to watch the Formula Academy testing in Barcelona. I kind of followed the news that came out of it, and it's exciting. It's a ton of young, enthusiastic drivers from all over the world who are just excited to be granted this opportunity. Formula Academy will be racing in Spielberg, Valencia, Barcelona, Zandvoort, Monza, Les Castellet, and COTA. It's already set that in 2024, Formula Academy will exclusively take place on F1 weekend. So we see a pairing this year with COTA, which I will be there. I'm so excited to see these women race. And then next year we'll have them at all the races. So hopefully we'll be able to get to a couple more races where they will be. With 3 races at each event, the weekend is a little wild in terms of the format. So each weekend will feature 2 40-minute free practice sessions with 2 15-minute qualifying sessions. So the first qualifying session will set the grid for race 1. Race 2's grid will be set by reversing the top 8 drivers from their first qualifying, with 9th and 10th staying in 9 and 10. And then the second qualifying will set the grid for race 3. This is confusing. I think it will get better as we watch a couple of these Formula Academy weekends, but I understand wanting to give them as much experience as they can per weekend. So I feel like this is the best they could do in terms of setting up the weekend. I'm so excited to see the reverse grid with the top 8 drivers. I feel like everyone has always hinted at a reverse grid in F1 or other series, and now we're finally getting it. So this will be a good test to see, what the results look like with a reverse grid that may translate into other motorsport series. Races 1 and 3 will be 30 minutes long and award 25 points to the winner, while race 2 will be slightly shorter, 20 minutes, and offer 10 points to the winners. Points will also be available for fastest lap and both of the pole positions throughout the weekend. The teams that are competing are Art Grand Prix, Campos Racing, Carlin, MP Motorsport, and Primo Racing. Like I said earlier, each team has an established history in F2 and F3 championships, and the 15 drivers are from all over the globe, the youngest being 16 years old. Many of these faces we've seen in the W Series and in karting as well. As this is the first year that this is happening and we have not yet seen a race weekend, I'll be intrigued to see how the weekend format plays out and really to see if it's on F1 TV. I'm convinced it will be, but you never know with F1. What changes will be made next season once they've kind of gone through and diagnosed what worked and what didn't work. But most importantly, I'm excited to see what opportunities these drivers will receive after a few years in the academy. I'd love to see them move up into F3 and F2 and potentially go on to other motorsports series as well. A lot of people believe that there shouldn't be a female Formula One driver on the grid these days, but women have never really received the same opportunities, support, training, and belief in them that they have every right to be there. So I'm hoping that at the very least, the Formula Academy turns some of these mindsets around and we start to realize that one day a woman could be on the grid in F1. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Dirty Driving. Until next time, stay dirty.